Hi everyone, it's Dakota. Welcome to my channel, The Hallowed Cauldron. I'm glad you could be here today. I'm going to talk today about purging and self-care. I hope you'll stay with me because it may not be exactly what you think. So if you'll just stay with me. Um, and I'm glad to be back. Last week there was no video. It's a long story. I have a back injury from years ago. Every once in a while my back goes out. It went out. Today is week 3, so it went out 2 weeks ago, to the point that I couldn't even really get out of bed for 3 days. So I'm now out and about walking, slow, can't bend over, but I'm good. So I wanted to get on here and do a video. Now I was going to actually do my video out in the witch cottage, but of course it's raining or it's kind of misty, sprinkly. But the thing is, I didn't want to carry everything over to the cottage because of my back. So here I am in my dining room. All right, so today's video, purging and self-care. Again, hope you'll stay with me because I don't think, it might not be what you think it is. So if you'll just stay with me. All right, some of you know, if you've watched my channel, that I have an obsession with tiny homes. And I think one of the reasons I have the obsession is because of the minimalization, whew, that's a tough one, minimalization that has to happen in order to live comfortably and clean living in a tiny home. Now, I'm obsessed with the tiny homes. However, just as you can see from here, I'm not a minimalist. I am not, and I probably never will be. I love aesthetics. I love things to have a flow. I love things to have a reason. I love things to be in a balance. Now, that brings me happiness. However, it also brings me overwhelmingness sometimes. All of this stuff can be overwhelming. It can be overwhelming if you are having a kind of like a chaotic day, or you don't feel good, or whatever it is. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff in here that we have collected over the years. We had an antique store for close to 20 years. So that meant a lot of auctions and a lot of finding some really amazing things. We love primitive antiques. And so our entire house is primitive antiques. So, um, however, it can be a bit much. It can be a bit much. I have tried going through as I clean, to say I'm cleaning this area, to choose one item, even if it's the smallest of items that I don't absolutely love and adore, that I can let go. And that's really hard. Trust me, I know that that's very hard. Um, but that is a start, that is the start, and it feels good. Purging feels good. It doesn't feel good when you're doing it, but once it's gone, you're like, feel lighter, right? Okay, so the thing is, though, that I know that I am not a minimalist, other than when I'm doing my rituals or my spell work, as you know from watching my videos. I I don't like a ton of stuff on my altar. I only like what I am using. So whether I'm doing a devotion, I have my statue of my deity on the altar. I only have what it is I'm doing. So if I'm just doing devotion to her, I will just have her, a candle, maybe 2 candles that have been consecrated for her, to her, and maybe one item that is, you know, whatever, maybe not, because my focus is her. My focus is devoting to her. I don't need to have every single oil that she likes or that I use for her. I don't have to have every single herb. I don't have to have every single crystal that corresponds with her. That makes me, being a Gemini with a very active mind, distracted. I'm here to do this work, nothing else. And so that keeps me there. That's why my altars are very simplistic. whether I'm doing my cat under the table, um, whether I'm doing a ritual or whether I'm doing spell work, etc. It's very simple. I don't like a lot of stuff on my altar. It doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't make sense to me. But that's just me. That's how I work. That's not to say, again, as you know, when every single video I mention this, it's not to say, obviously, that I don't like the aesthetics of it. You know, oh, yeah, that looks really, really witchy. That's cool. But I can't work that way. So that's just me. All right. So, but in thinking of this tiny house thing, and I even have a song about it, but I'm not going to sing it to you. Um, uh, you know, I would have to have my tiny house where I live and sleep and, you know, cook and all of that. And then I would have to have my witch cottage, because what do you do with all your witchy stuff? Well, you can also purge and cut back at least on some of the things that you have. So the first thing I'm going to talk about, and I know this is going to be sacrilegious, is our books. Let's talk about books. Okay. I do have some I have some vintage books that I have acquired over the years. I have read them. I treasure them. The authors are no longer with us, and they are, you know, they were my first mentors, if you want to call it that. That is who I started with when I started this path. So, so it means something to me to have them. However, here's the thing. I've read them, but I do go back to them and excuse me. I do go back to them occasionally and reference maybe a quote, maybe an idea, something like that. I have so many books that are beginner witchcraft books, whether that is witchcraft, herbs, stones, oils, blah, 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 you name it. A ton of 101, that's what I'm going to call it, books. And I've read them front to cover, and I've read them anywhere from 1 to a dozen times, probably, not front to cover, but I use them all the time. I reference them when I'm teaching my classes, because my classes are based towards that seeker, that person that is new to the path, new to this craft, doesn't know where to begin, needs mentoring, needs somebody to you know, kind of help them along their journey, show them where to go, or at least give them an idea where to go. So I do keep those books because I do reference those books throughout the year in my different courses that I teach. However, that being said, there are a lot of books that I realize that I have that do not resonate with me whatsoever. Some of them never have. Why do I have them then? Because, oh, maybe one day? Well, maybe one day, if it does, if you think that it does, how about then that day you go out and buy it, or go to a used bookstore and find it on a shelf, or, you know, whatever it is that you have to do. But I know for me, I have books that I have carried in my moves from state to state to state and back again. And I just keep putting them on the bookshelf. Don't like them, but you know, like, it just doesn't resonate with me. Doesn't mean that the author is bad. It doesn't mean that the information is bad. It just means that it doesn't work for me. I don't like it. I don't like your style. Everybody is different. So you might like whatever book, you know, you might really love that author, but maybe I don't, because I don't like their style, their writing style or whatever. So if I don't like that book then, and I don't like, you know, their style, and it doesn't resonate with me, I know I'm not going to go reach for that book. if I'm looking up something, I'm not going to go reach for that book. So I might as well purge that book, re-gift it to somebody that can use it, or maybe if you have, a community sale, or maybe you have a community library where you do like book exchanges and stuff like that. Because I know for a fact I'm not going to use it. I'm just not going to use it. And yet it's still sitting on my shelf. So uh, yeah. So getting rid of some of our books is in the long run is could possibly help somebody else. If you're not using it, if it doesn't resonate with you, let somebody else learn from it, and maybe it will resonate with them. And then they'll grow. And guess what that does? It opens up another space on your bookshelf for you to buy a book that does resonate with you. Just saying. The same goes for your cards, your tarot cards or your oracle cards. I have done that. I've done trades. I've done trades before where, we've had like small gatherings, maybe 5, 6, 7 people, and just say, I brought 3 decks of cards, whether they're tarot, whether they're oracle, whatever. I don't use these. We put them in a pile, and however many if you brought one, you get one if one resonates with you and you want to try it. Um, you know, that works out really good. It's that whole just regifting and letting somebody else have an opportunity. Because I have, you know, 20 plus decks up there, if not more, between Oracle and Tarot and affirmation decks and all of that stuff. And there's probably, half of them that I just don't use. I just don't use them. They don't work for me. They don't read for me. I'm not interested in them. And yet I find myself holding on to them. Why? Is this a competition about how many decks you have or how many books you have? So give somebody else an opportunity to learn. And I find that doing that little group session where now we can talk and we can network, bring a subject to the table that you want to talk about, even if it's about the book or the deck. And you can have book sessions and you can have card sessions and talk about it and tell us, what didn't you like about the deck? What was it? And give the other person give somebody else an opportunity, and that way you're freeing up some of your own space. One of the things and I did this today, let's talk about old clothes. Whoa, right? We've got a closet full of clothes, and you have your favorite shirt, and it's like, this doesn't fit me anymore, but I'm going on a diet. I'm going to start exercising. I'm going to wear this again at some point. Really? I mean, and maybe you will. I'm not saying that you won't. I'm not saying that you won't. I'm just talking from my own experience. Um, I mean, even if I do, even if I do lose weight and I fit into that again, would I really want to wear that again, or would I want to celebrate my weight loss by going out and getting something new that's of the times? I mean, I don't know. Today I have on my little what are they called? Frenchie, my little Frenchie, adorable. And you know what? This is a shirt that I would never wear outside, but it fits me. It's loose. It's comfortable. My back is still not well, and I wear this. This is something that I wear. I don't wear it out and about, but I do wear it here at the house. It's my slop around shirt. But guess what? I've got shelves and shelves and shelves of clothes that I don't wear. I will never wear them. And you pick it up and you're like, I'm doing this. And you pick it up and you're like, I don't know, one day I might wear this in the winter. No, you won't. No, you won't. Like, you won't. If you haven't worn it in a year, you won't. And if you do, then that is fantastic. But I know for me, I know that I won't. So I went through my closet today. I had a dress that I haven't worn. I couldn't tell you when. I know that it's been at least a year, if not more, probably more. And it just felt comfortable, you know, and I thought, let me put that on today because I'm still, like I said, I'm still kind of getting up and down a little bit slow. I wanted something comfortable. I put it on and I went, first of all, this doesn't really fit me anymore. And second of all, this is like, it's probably 8 years old. I folded it up and I put it in the giveaway bag. I did that with 4 items, 2 dresses, a skirt, and a pair of pants. Yay! Like the baggy pants, kind of my yoga pants. Um, and they're real cute, but no, I haven't worn those in years. Packed them up. So I have 4 spaces in my closet. That feels good. That feels good. And here's the thing, if you have something that you really like, and I have done this, if you wanted to get rid of this shirt but you love this little pattern, cut the pattern out and stitch it onto a jacket or stitch it onto a pouch. They sell plain canvas bags, you know, big like book bags at your craft store, Michael's or Walmart or wherever. Do a stitch it, or they have like iron-on things now that you can do. You cut it out, put it on there. I have several fabrics that I didn't want to get rid of. I loved the fabric. Um, I never ever would have worn it again, ever. But guess what I did? I cut it up and I made tarot pouches out of it. The dress was my energy. I used to wear it all the time. I'm not going to ever wear it again. But the dress, I felt like I just didn't want to throw the dress away or give it to the, you know, to charity. And I thought, you know, I really love that fabric. I love the fabric so much. And so I cut it up and I made tarot pouches. And that is my energy. So that adds to whatever it is you're using that fabric for. So you can do that. I know somebody who frames theirs. They're very artistic. They frame it and do something artistic with it. So you can do that with your clothes as well. All right, I'm going to move on. I'm going to talk about witches, you know, like our tools, our witches tools. You know, how many things in your witches toolbox do you no longer use anymore? You know, you might have, say, an athame that you used when you first started and it no longer resonates with you, or, you know, you dropped it and the tip broke off, but you can't get rid of it. I mean, really, come on. How many stones do you have that you don't even know what you have because you have so many stones? Time to purge some of that. We can do the same thing with jewelry. I have, oh my gosh, I have so much jewelry. I have been going through my jewelry, and some has been gifted. Some I have taken apart and reworked. I make things with jewelry, jewelry parts. I make things. So there's a lot of things that you can do where you're purging, but you're still holding on to, but you're purging instead of it just sitting there doing nothing but collecting dust. And you know, there's always the regift too. You can have little regift get-togethers, and that's always fun. You know, that's really fun. Is bring something, and you know that is witchy, and you have a get-together with so many people, however many you want. You can number the items. They're wrapped up. Number the items. Say you have 10 people, 1 through 10. uh, 1 through 10, get a little piece of paper, write 1 through 10, put it in the bowl, shake it up, and each person gets to draw a number. And as long as that is not their item that they brought, that would be their item. It's really fun. You can bring, you know, little nom-noms and wine or tea or whatever. It's really fun. It's a great networking thing. It's really, really fun. Regifting, it's really fun. Okay, so I had something else, like I said, I had something else planned today. Now that's the purging part of that. but like I said, well, I don't know if I said it, but I had this download this morning because I knew I wasn't going to go out into the cottage. I didn't want to carry everything out there, and I was like, I don't know what to do, because that was more like something that I was going to have to work and show you, and I didn't want to have to haul everything over there. And so I was just sort of sitting, house is quiet, nobody's here, no TV, no internet, no music, no nothing. Sometimes I like to just sit in the silence, and I got this. I was like, and I had just got done purging the 4 items in my closet when I sat down, and because I was resting my back, and I sat down, and all of a sudden it came to me, and this is what came. How about purging old ideas? How about purging our old thoughts, old ways of doing things, old habits? Purging, I've got it on here, you know, friendships, or people in our lives that really are no longer serving our highest good. Um, letting that go. We don't to to pretend that you're there for someone when you really aren't interested in that person. It's so fake. It's so, for me, that is so unethical. Um, and I don't mean, I'm not talking about, oh, let them go. Unfriend them. I don't mean that. I just mean cut that cord of feeling obligated, that obligation to them. It's a type of purging. Because I know for me, I am I no longer practice witchcraft the way that I did when I first started, and I don't think any of us do. We grow, we learn, and we grow. And the way that we grow, one of the ways that helps us grow is to let go of the old ways. Or you know what I'm saying? I mean, you can't have grow. You can't move forward unless you grow. And the only way you grow is with new. And the only way you can have new come in is to allow space. And the only way we can allow space is to let go, to purge, to rid those things that aren't serving our highest good. Which then allows us space for that growth. I don't look at my notes here real quick. I don't think the way I used to think. I don't act the way I used to act. I don't react the way I used to react. I think very, very long and hard now about who I allow into my circle, who I allow into my space, my personal space. I think it's very important what we share personally with others, online, social media, personal things, because that can be, and I've experienced it, has been used as fuel for bullying. The more somebody knows about you, the more power really it gives them to use against you if you're not their person. if they're trying to be the bigger and the better. And so I have experienced this personally the last few years, and I just cannot and will not um, give up my personal uh, space, as it were, uh, to just anybody anymore. Um, and that is a way of purging, because I am no longer that person that, oh, you say you're my friend, but this, that, and the other. Hold on just a second. Hello, I'm Smeagol. I'm Smeagol. That is probably the most unlovable, um, weird cat I've ever had in my life. He will not sit on your lap. He doesn't want you handling him. He doesn't really play. Like, you can give him a box and he's like, give him a bag, catnip, whatever. He's weird. He's like so weird. Anyway, that's Smeagol. He just turned 6. Anyway, I just wanted to show you him. So where was I? Yeah, so the thing on purging and this message that came through today was just thinking about those things. Like, I'm not the same person as I was last year, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, or some long time ago, years ago, when I first started practicing. I don't do things the way that I did. I can look back on some of my, which then I called them my Book of Shadows. Now, as you know, I call them my little notepad journalies things. And I chuckle. It's adorable. Like, I was so adorable. I was such a cute little witch. But guess what? That was okay. It was perfect for me at the time when I had no mentor other than the books, and the books were law, and whatever they said, that is what I did. But you learn and you grow, and how you do that is by letting go of, I'll never forget those lessons, but I've expanded on that. You know what I mean? It's a good lesson, but it's time to move on. And so we have to let some of that stuff rest and purge. So not only is purging good for your sanity when you have so much stuff that can be overwhelming, and trust me, cleaning, it's never ending. It's truly never ending when you have this much stuff. And like I said, this is just one wall, the dining room. It's I think I'm not sure if I showed you, but I mean, I've got, this is the other wall, and it just it goes, look at that. That is an 8-foot. That is an 8-foot Victorian bookcase filled to the brim with collectibles. Why? I've got to clean that. So, purging isn't just about material things. And think of it this way, that, on purging those material things, especially when we're talking about our witchy stuff. Oh, but that has their energy. Cleanse it. Cut cords with it. Don't, you know. So, that's what I had to say. purging our material things opens up space, allows us to, think straight. I happen to enjoy my antique aesthetic. Some of you may go, oh my God, because maybe you live simple with, minimalistically, and I adore you for that. Um, and some of you have outrageously witchy altars that you can't even see the altar because you have so much stuff on there and it just exhumes witch, and I love that. But I like simplicity on my altar. But more than that, the self-care of purging those things that don't serve your highest good. Let go of the old, move on, move on. So anyway, I'm going to move on and get some lunch, and I hope that you got something out of this, and leave a message on with your thoughts. Keep them happy. Have a great week, and maybe I'll do a catch-up video next week if I can. Guys, be safe, take care, be kind, and talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.